Burnout rates have increased from 30 to 40% in the 2000s to 62% this year, with approximately 80% of adults predicted to burn out at least once in their lifetimes. So, why are we so burnt out? Let's first look at what's changed. As a society, we have shifted away from manufacturing jobs and the trades, where we're moving around constantly and using our hands, to corporate jobs in office cubicles where we're using our brain for 8 hours a day. We are using a different type of energy. Previously, we used a mix of physical, mental, creative, and social energy throughout our days, whereas corporate uses a significantly higher proportion of mental energy, and that balance has completely shifted. I talk about the 7 types of rest we need in a previous video and why we're so tired, but the majority of people that I do meet are mentally exhausted. Their brains are so drained by the end of the working day that they can barely even choose what to eat, let alone actually having the energy to cook. So instead we resort to something quicker and easier, ready meals or delivery, then we sit on the sofa and watch TV or scroll to numb our overworked brains. Next, you've got to factor in that we've shifted from single income houses to dual income houses. And this puts the pressure on both parties in the household, doing twice the amount of work to earn these 2 salaries, plus needing to cook, clean, and look after the children. But this particularly impacts women who on average are doing 2 to 3 hours more unpaid labour each day. And this, I think, is part of the reason why women have higher burnout rates than men, but there are other reasons that I go through in a previous video on this. So if you pile everything that needs to be done in order to run and maintain a household on top of that already demanding 9-to-5 job, it becomes unattainable. Yet, this has become the new norm, so no wonder we are complaining. This brings me to the third point, because we're not happy about the disproportionate amount of effort that we have to get in to get such little reward. Let me explain a little further. One of the most common underlying factors that researchers have found in patients that experience burnout is that they feel undervalued and overworked. This is particularly common in healthcare and teaching, but it is a general underlying factor for many millennials and Gen Z. So to prove my point, if you look at the average cost of a house versus the average salary back in the 1980s, it was about 4 times more. This meant that the average household could still afford this on one single income, whereas now the typical price is much closer to 9 times an average annual salary. Finally, you've got to look at our lifestyle and what is pushed. Social media and ads. We're constantly being marketed to and told that we're not good enough and we need to buy this new thing that will solve all of our problems. And the amount of information that we're absorbing and processing each day has increased exponentially since the emergence of technology. Our brains have not had the time to evolve to take in this amount of info. Bigger cities, we have moved from smaller towns to bigger cities which are much less community driven, meaning more people than ever feel lonely and isolated. We are much more self-focused than community-driven, like our grandparents' generation were, and many countries still are today. And we do so much less exercise with lower activity than ever before. The thing most people know is that exercise releases endorphins, which make you feel good. But what most people don't is that activity is actually a biological mechanism that allows us to process stress. And if we don't use this mechanism that our bodies are built to do, then we're letting the stress accumulate in our bodies until it burns us out. This is my analysis of why we're chronically burnt out and what has caused it. I go deeper into the biological mechanism of how our bodies were designed to release stress and prevent burnout in this video here. Knowing this is extremely useful for when you do have busy periods at work or when stressful situations arise. It's something that I've started to be more intentional with, and it's helped me a lot.